More than 300 targets destroyed in 2 major rounds of strikes in one day. Israel is piling on the pressure on Hezbollah.
No country can accept the wanton rocketing of its cities. We can't accept it either.
Taking a cue from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel Defense Forces launched widespread airstrikes against Hezbollah targets in Lebanon.
This is a village in southern Lebanon. Hezbollah stores cruise missiles, rockets, launchers, and UAVs inside civilian homes, hidden behind the Lebanese population living in the village. We are monitoring these activities, locating the weapons, and destroying them with precise intelligence-based strikes.
The IDF warned civilians in southern Lebanon to evacuate areas where Hezbollah had allegedly stored rockets or conducted other activities. They received texts on their phones warning them to leave places used by the Iran-backed group. Yet the Lebanese Health Ministry announced that at least 50 people had been killed and more than 300 wounded from the attacks. After months of strikes and counterstrikes between Israel and Hezbollah along the Lebanon border, things went up a notch. The first wave of explosions occurred on the 17th of September when pagers used by Hezbollah operatives started simultaneously exploding across Lebanon. The pagers had received messages that appeared to be coming from Hezbollah's leadership. The messages instead appeared to trigger the devices to detonate. By the end of the day, at least a dozen people were dead and more than 3,000 were wounded. Similar scenes of chaos played out across Lebanon the very next day. This time, walkie-talkies exploded suddenly, including near a funeral of one of the victims of the previous day's attack. At least 20 people were killed and around 450 injured in the second wave of attacks. On day 3, an Israeli airstrike on a residential area in Beirut killed a top Hezbollah military commander and other senior officials. It was the first airstrike to hit the Lebanese capital since July, when Fuad Shukr, a right-hand man of Hezbollah boss Hassan Nasrallah, was killed. The latest strike killed Ibrahim Akil, the commander of Hezbollah's elite Radwan forces. The US had placed a $7 million bounty on Akil for his role in the 1983 bombings of the US Embassy and Marine barracks in Beirut. Israel's President Isaac Herzog claimed that the gathering of top Hezbollah commanders in Beirut that was bombed was convened to plan an attack on Israel, like the devastating October 7 assault by Hamas. According to reports, the meeting had been called to work on the long-standing plan for a major invasion of the northern Galilee region to be launched in the wake of the unprecedented pager and walkie-talkie attacks. The members of the elite Radwan force were reportedly studying plans for a ground invasion. A bruised and battered Hezbollah launched dozens of rockets at an Israeli military base in the northern city of Haifa. But Hezbollah's ability to retaliate has been severely limited by Israel's operations. The Iran-backed group will be carefully calculating its next steps against Israel. While Hezbollah remains the most powerful of Iran's proxies, morale in the group's ranks will be low and paranoia will be high. At this point, it may not be in Hezbollah's interests to engage in action that could lead to a full-on war with Israel.